Is Rocky Long surprised to see Rocky Long as a head coach again? This wasn't part of any blueprint, was it?
No, the last 2 years I've been assistant coach. I expected, up until about 6 months ago, I expected to be an assistant coach until I got tired of coaching.
What was it like to find out that Brady Hoke was going to Michigan? Were you stunned? And then was there a lure that you might want to go with him because so many other guys on the staff went with him?
I wasn't stunned. I knew he was in the mix. I thought that there were some other guys that were being courted more than he was. So it was not a complete surprise, a little surprise that it ended up he got the job. Now I know it was his dream job, and I wasn't stunned that he took it whatsoever. And, at the time he first got it, I assumed I was going to go with him to Michigan.
When Jim Sturck came to you and said, "I want you," are you surprised?
I'm very surprised. He had mentioned something when the rumors were going around. He mentioned something that he wanted to talk to me if Brady got the job, but for whatever reason that didn't register that that's what he wanted to talk about. So I was really surprised when he talked to me, and it took me, overnight to think about it, but now I'm very excited about it.
When coaches go into new jobs, they're usually bad situations, kind of like 3 Mile Island, nothing left, nobody around. Brady comes here and he inherits Ryan Lindley. You come here, you inherit Ryan Lindley. I mean, that is a great starting point, isn't it?
Oh, it's always a good starting point. You can't have a good team unless you have a good quarterback. And obviously Ryan's a whole lot better now than he was 3 years ago. When he started as a freshman, you could see that he had great talent, but there was a lot of maturing to do. And I think the last 2 years he's matured mentally as well as physically, and now I think he's a potential NFL quarterback.
When you came here 3 years ago with Brady, what did you inherit, and what has changed with the culture of Aztec football?
Well, we inherited a team that lacked confidence. I thought we inherited a team that wasn't very physically fit. So over the last couple of years, that team has gotten more fit. They've gotten stronger due to their hard work in the weight room. They've developed confidence because of their hard work on the football field. I think that the systems that were brought in were different systems they were used to, and it's a more physical system now than it was the one they were in. So when you put a more physical system in, it takes them a while to adjust to that, but now they're more physical because they're used to the system.
I've been so impressed with the lack of attrition. Aztec football has been really badly hurt by academic problems and tons of injuries and surgeries. You guys have made a lot of that go away.
Well, the academic issue is our academic services and the kids actually doing the hard work to maintain their eligibility and then eventually graduate. The injury problem, to me, that's a luck issue. Sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. And I think the last year or so, we've been pretty lucky with the lack of a bunch of injuries. I mean, we've had some severe injuries, but not as many as I was told that they'd had the few years before that.
First time I talked to you when you took over as defensive coordinator, you said, "Lee, it's going to take us some time to get this where I want it to be." Kind of arrived, do you think? I mean, we look at the statistics and what you've accomplished. Do you think the system is now set in?
I think it's a lot closer than it was, and I think we're real close to understanding everything. I'm used to certain things, and I won't be happy until we're a top 25 defense, and I mean a top 25 defense consistently year after year after year. And we haven't reached that level yet. I mean, we've gotten closer to that level, but we haven't reached that level yet. And hopefully this is the year that puts us in there. It kind of feeds on itself. It's a momentum issue, just like winning's a momentum issue. And if we play our schedule's tougher this year than it was last year, and if we play better defense than we did last year, and it shows up on statistics, we're making the right progress.
What kind of creative juice does Andy Ludwig bring in here as the new offensive coordinator? He's come off some trees of head coaches that are pretty good. He's done some really vibrant things offensively.
Well, I think he's a quality coordinator, obviously. He can adjust to the best players that he has available to him. He can adjust to our personnel. He's already adjusted his terminology to fit the terminology our kids already know. So the adjustment with our players is really, really easy. he's proved that he has had great success at several different schools, the last one being Cal. The one I remember the most is when I was trying to defend his offenses when he was at Utah. And he was the coordinator at Utah when they went undefeated and beat Alabama in the Sugar Bowl. So obviously he knows what he's doing, and for us to have a guy like him here, that's pretty good.
Will this be more of a spread package to fit what his strengths are, or will it be under center? Will you continue to play power ball? What are you going to be personality-wise?
Well, basically the offense hasn't changed. But we are lacking 2 outstanding wide receivers, and we're counting on young guys. We have good running backs and a veteran offensive line and some good tight ends in our program. So like I said, Andy's the kind of guy that's going to adjust our scheme to use his best players. So last year there was a lot of deep balls. There was a lot of throw over the tops. This year it might be a little bit more ball control and use the guys that we know we have that are quality players with experience, and let the wide receivers develop some. Now, hopefully we have a deep threat out there, or they'll stack the box and make it harder to run. But if I was guessing going into the season and I was anybody else, I would guess that we're going to be more of a ball control team that use play action pass a little bit more than last year.
We know the stats and the size and the weight and all the things that Ryan Lindley has done statistically. Give me an intangible that has made him different now than he was prior.
Oh, that's easy. He's a much better leader now than he was prior. I think he started developing that toward the end of last season. And I don't mean just leadership in the huddle. He's the leader of this football team on and off the field.
Let me ask you about the defense. You've returned a ton of people with lots of experience on the back seven, little wafer-thin defensively up front. You're going to have a little luck to stay healthy and not lose anybody there?
We're going to have young guys develop up front. And on both offense and defense, if you're not at least holding your own up front, it doesn't matter what you have behind them. So we have some young guys in the program that show some athletic ability, but we're going to use a bunch of them too. We're going to try to keep them fresh, but they're going to have to hold their own. They're going to have to play above their years and hold their own for us to be as good on defense.
As Ryan Lindley's grown as a quarterback, has Miles Burris paralleled that growth to be the defensive leader?
I think that we have a couple, 3 guys that kind of lead the defense. Jerome Long's one of them. Obviously, Miles Burris is one of them. Logan Ketchum's another one. I mean, it's on offense, a quarterback is put in the position that he can be the one guy, the dominant leader. But on defense, we alternate so much, and we have so many people play. We play 22 people in a game, and they alternate themselves by a rotation, pre-game rotation theory. But those 3 guys, which are all seniors, are the leaders of the defense.
Let me ask you about the schedule. I mean, this is a dynamic schedule. It's an exciting schedule for me to talk about on this talk show. Boise, Fresno, Michigan, etc. Might not be an easy schedule for the coach to get through. How neat is the schedule, though?
Well, I think it's a great schedule. I think that you always want to play against some of the best. You want to see how good you are. You want to compete against the best. Now, if you're an average fan, it's a much tougher schedule than they've been in the past, which means it's going to be much, much harder to win. So the assumption that because we went 9-4 last year that this program is on a consistent winning basis is false. I mean, we have to continue to get better. We're going to have to play a lot better this year to have even similar results than we did the year before. But we have some confidence, and we have some good players coming back, and we're not afraid of anybody, so it'll be fun to watch.
One final question. When they got done shuffling the deck with the schools that were coming and the schools that were going, were you surprised BYU and Utah left? And what does it mean to have Boise and its national rep and Pat Hill and Fresno, and a year from now Hawaii and its run and shoot come in?
I'm not surprised Utah left because it was obviously a big boost to them financially. I was a little surprised BYU left because I thought they would stay in the conference if they didn't have a BCS conference to go to. Adding Boise has made this conference much, much better. Boise is an outstanding team with a great national reputation. When Fresno, now we're playing Fresno even before they're officially in our league, but adding Fresno is a great bonus to San Diego State. It's a rivalry game. People will travel. It'll get heated. The crowd will be into it. It's really fun. And then when you make it a league game, too, it makes it even that much better. So the league is as good as it was before. And in our case, adding Fresno makes it a really good deal.